Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Like Queen Lisa, and today is a Truth Tuesday. So my buddy Satoshi Sean will be joining me. I don't have a lot of information because we've been back and forth running around courthouses all day, but I do have a few things to share with you. So we'll be right back right after this. Welcome back, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm okay. How you doing?
You're better? Is that what you said?
I said I'm okay. How are
You're
you?
okay. You're okay.
Miss
And
Fanny, the Randy Warrior. Good to see y'all.
how's your did you guys have any damage from the storms or anything? I guess you were far enough east, maybe.
Yeah, it was weird. I was just happy that we had a break in the heat, and then I went to pay my mortgage, and I kept not wanting me to pay it. They're like, "Do you need assistance?"
What?
Yeah. They're like, "You're part of a zone that the U.S. wants to save money to. Do you need FEMA?" And I mean, like every page, I kept like, "No, homepage, no, back to my account." It was very weird. It was odd. I
That
didn't know.
is odd. That is very strange.
Yeah.
But doesn't surprise me. I mean, there's just always something crazy going on lately, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, I shared some stuff. Well, I sent you a video, but then I saw that it's over a year old, where they were showing this huge bank
Oh,
bankrupt
yeah.
in China. Yeah.
The thing with China, it's not going to be reported on because they're going to make sure that it's not really reported on. The only way you can find out really real things in China is to watch people like Serpent Z, people that like lived in China for a long time and like had YouTube channels about it
Mm-hmm.
and left. And like, okay, now I can tell you the truth. Um, it's really weird. Their society's breaking down so bad, so fast. Um, it's insane. Like the government, it pays farmers a small amount of money to just spray paint the ground and rocks, so that from space and satellites it looks green.
Are you kidding me?
No, I mean, um, they spray paint their like pigs because they're worth certain colors worth more. There's but the whole generation they're not used to Chinese people are very racist. Older people very racist. Um, that's why they're able to get away with like the Uyghur thing and stuff. But a lot of the younger generation and also women are like happily second class citizens. If that makes sense, they're very
Well,
happy in their role.
you're saying the younger aren't,
Right, the younger women are.
because I heard they weren't even marrying, which is causing
That's
even more of a breakdown in there
right.
because
But
they
the thing
don't have
is,
a
that's
workforce.
that's all they're good for.
Mhm.
Is they're good for getting married, having kids. There's no healthcare system.
Mhm.
There's no free healthcare system. Same with Vietnam. So with most uh, communist countries, which people don't know for some reason. That's weird, but they can't afford healthcare. So the only way you can afford, and there's no 401k. So the only way, and this is how it's been for thousands of years. You have a bunch of kids, you take care of them, they take care of you. When
Ah,
you get older, and but like the only thing women are really good for is getting married and popping out kids, and then that's really it. So there's women once you hit 30, they're called like worthless women or something. They're shunned by society because they're like, you're 30, you haven't gotten married, you're no good anymore. What are you good
what's
for?
an old maid? What they used to call an old
Yeah,
maid.
we used to call an old maid, but
Yeah.
it's like you don't have imagine being called an old maid, but you're not allowed to like do anything else with your life. And that's the thing. They don't like they don't have the same opportunities, so they really give up on themselves. And then like if you're 22, but you kind of want to go to school or you want to do something, you don't want to have a family. Like you've been told you shouldn't have a family. and it's all, you know what I mean. It's finally all that propaganda is getting over there.
Wow.
Their culture is not ready for it, so it's breaking it down. Plus, they don't have a lot of money. So much of it's fake.
Interesting.
But and that's a weird thing about China is they put so much money into looks. Like they're making warships at like 500 times the speed we are. But they don't have fuel. They don't have people to man them. They don't have. It's just. It's like an old Hollywood West, scene. Fake town. It's all just like an illusion, and they're just hoping that they can keep this illusion going. Like we are here with money and all the other stuff. Where
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like a race to see who falls first.
Well, it's all falling for sure. I don't know if I had shared with you guys about the Japanese bond thing. I think I had. I think that was kind of Friday's news or something. There was a big number. But then there was that deal where like 9 banks were working a settlement for manipulating the derivative market for all these years. And this is so ridiculous. In a $465 trillion industry, the 9 banks each got fined $46 million.
That's good
It's
business.
it's the slap on the hand. That's good business. That's it's not illegal to eat on the grass. It's
Yeah,
just
that,
costs a
yeah,
fine. You pay a
that's
fee.
that's licensing fees, and this is the fees we got to do to be able to do what we want to do. It's
It's
you know,
disgusting.
yeah.
Especially when it's,
And if you would just be honest, like that's bribery. That's what it costs to do. But that's something that Andrew Tate always said before he got arrested and everything. Because people are like, why do you live in Romania? It's like the government's really corrupt. But it's like, yeah, but everyone's upfront about it. Like you go in and you gotta pay. Hey, you gotta pay me $100. You gotta pay Hector over there $50, and then the actual fee for the license is 10. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, here you go. It's all kind of upfront, and
Yeah.
that's how it is with them. With the I don't know how to use a word anymore. I had a big kind of a realization about the word elite and how they're needed. Did I say that? Oh my god, yeah. But they become like the elite. There's like an elite now. Before it used to be smart people and so on, and like you could trust a lot of them and could trust their opinion, and now they've been dumbed down so much. Like look at college campuses. It's just
Yeah.
I'm queer and
Dumbest of the dumb.
queer and I'm for Palestine. Just
Yeah.
whatever you want to point your finger at, it's just dumb.
All the liberal arts majors.
But it's not at like UT. I mean, not to pick on UT, but it's at like Harvard. It's at like Brown, Yale. These are supposed to be the elite, and these. I watched this professor, and he was like, our elite is stupid. It's like you've got people graduating from these institutions now, and they're like not even high school smart anymore. Like they're focused on whatever it was they're studying, and they don't know the difference between Andrew Jackson and George Washington. Which one was first? There's like just basic stuff. Like they don't know Pythagorean theorem, but they don't know who Pythagoras is. There's just like it's like so. He said it's
right.
Before you had a certain level of intelligence, and this is like a big thing that I got to it. That Alex told me that like blew my mind. I was talking about the destruction of the Library of Alexandria because it was centralization. So I was talking about centralization, evil, and I was like human humankind had come so far, and you can look at all this ancient stuff that's like, how like, we can't even do it now, and blah blah blah, and all that knowledge was kept in one place.
Right.
And I said, you could have all that knowledge right there, and a farmer 100 miles away didn't know shit about shit. And then when it got burned down, it was all destroyed. We had to start over. And I said, all throughout history, we get so far, and then we start over. And he's like, yeah, but each time we get further and further. He's like, because of the internet, because of just libraries and the internet and so on, like a farmer in Iowa knows more than a doctor did 100 years ago about biology. And, and he's just a farmer, but he knows more about medicine and, biology and science and chemistry than like scientists in that field 150 years ago or 100 years ago. And I was like, yeah, you're right. But now I think that's what they've been working on, targeting the evil cabal. I don't even want to call them the elite anymore, because they've destroyed the elites of the world and made them just stupid pawns.
I like that theory. I think this is, and I think with you mentioning that kind of goes to the point of like where like the boys are right. It goes further and further, or builds on itself, because humanity does survive. But that's where blockchain, and we talk about using blockchain for history, and so that we don't have to keep relearning, and we could have an exponential growth in advancement kind of, technology or whatever, because of having blockchain for the history purpose, if nothing else. This is something pretty historical. For the first time in the history, the House of Representatives has created a Congressional El Salvador Caucus, for which Representative Matt Gaetz will serve as chairman. El Salvador is now a reliable and stable partner for peace and security for the United States. The El Salvador Caucus will exist to nurture and advance the U.S.-El Salvador relationship and to vindicate the strong reforms that President Bukele has put into effect. As Congressman of El Salvador, applaud this. I don't know what it means. Applaud this remarkable achievement. Looking forward to working with El Salvador Caucus. So that was pretty cool.
Applauded, probably.
Do what?
Applauded,
I'm sure,
for this remarkable achievement.
That's also like along chains of like, look what El Salvador has done in a very short amount of time. They got rid of their gang problem. They turned to Bitcoin for money for the people, and their country turning around.
They got rid of like trying to get rid of like the IMF and the evils. They really just said, they called it out for what they are. And I think African countries are doing that too. I've talked to you about with the BRICS nation thing. Mm-hmm. They're getting kind of, they're getting balls, but they're getting more clout because they know what's coming. And they're saying, hey, we don't want your modern day slavery, financial slavery. No, thank you. We're gonna. We have like gold in our ground, and we have diamonds, and we have we have real stuff that we're gonna be a player like we should have been the whole time. That you've exploited us.
Also, the Le Pen thing. Did you see where she's now being charged with taking bad money or bribes for her campaign?
No, that doesn't. I'm so like, it's so bad. It's so messed up. Yeah, I don't think you can vote to fix stuff, because number one, people are stupid. But number two, like, okay, so France, she's beating the crap out of everybody, and all of Europe thinks we're insane because we have a two-party system now. And they're correct. We should have never. Our founding fathers said, do not have a party system, because you could end up with two. That'll destroy the country. And we did it. Here we are. So her party comes out. We stand for this. We stand for that. And they beat the shit out of everybody. So the Communist Party the Socialist Party and some other progressive party come together, and they all come together and make one party, call it like the Unity Party or something. And now, because they're all coming together, but they're only coming together to beat this person, to beat the will of the people, and they're at 3. And Macron is the moderate. So now you literally have 20, I think Lee told me it's like 27% of European country voted for communism and socialism, who lived through,
Actual, yeah.
I was in Europe, when it was very obvious. Like, you could look over a fucking fence and see how bad the people had it. You didn't have to even visit, travel. You could go to Berlin and just be like, wow, that looks rough.
Well, they're getting ready for the Olympics to start, Summer Olympics to start in Paris, and there's all these riots and everything happening there. It wouldn't surprise me if they don't shut them down or delay them with all the riots that are going on, because the people are just not having it.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, though, to see.
And and there's that one Charlie guy, he got a lisp, the British dude. It's like so much is obvious now that comes, and when things are going on, we always talked about this, like, it's just stupid. Why are they doing this? It doesn't make sense. Why are they like when they attacked facts a long time ago, even before the gender stuff and all that? They just, like, you don't say this and don't say that, and that's racist. It's not racist. That's racial. And being racial is not being racist. But now you can't use facts. You can't say, hey, man, you're bringing all these people into the country and our rapes went up 300%, and 85% of rapes are these people. That's racist. It's like, no, those are facts.
No, yeah, it's just
it's not. You're twisting that. You're making it like.
But that's the same thing where they made the whole you can't say certain things because then you're a bad person. So if you say that, then they can call you racist.
Yeah.
Whether you are or not. Just like they say, you can't say anything negative about the Jews or you're anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Or they're gonna even make up a word about it.
Yeah, and then that's a whole crazy thing too.
It is. Yeah.
I didn't know that the Rothschilds created Israel.
Well,
I think I'm really behind on that, but that Lord Rothschild literally wrote the king and said, hey, and he used the word Zionist back then. And there's this letter that they sent him, His Majesty's government and blah, blah, we're happy to oblige you, Lord Rothschild, and we're going to create this state, because Britain owned all that from the Crusades and everything. They owned all the Middle East. So it's pretty crazy.
I agree, JB. We love our folks in the live chat. So if you guys are watching this later, make sure you try to catch us live, usually around 4 p.m. Central. Another thing that is near and dear to my heart are the children, of course. And finally, there's some like news, common sense coming out. They're like, please understand this is taxpayer funded child slavery sanctioned by our government and brought to you by NGOs. And they're talking about this statement.
That was a couple months ago. I saw the interview.
Okay. So this is from, let's see, that one says May. But this was from today, 4 hours ago, from today's roundtable on exploitation crisis, this video.
2-month long crisis. Jesus Christ.
What?
3 month long crisis. I mean, it's really bad. It was bad months ago, and they just talk about it for months.
Yeah. So I guess this one was from May 16th. They said no child has gone missing, but 85,000 unaccompanied children were released to sponsors in the United States by the government and are now unable to be accounted for for their whereabouts or welfare unknown, which my Facebook has been flooded with missing children. There's like all these missing children
I
posters
was
now.
talking about the ones that are being put to work, like in the mines.
Oh,
Like tens of hundreds. I mean, Gates was like, "Are you not exploiting these kids, putting them to work?"
are you talking about like in Africa?
No, I'm talking about the United States. That all the kids that have come over have been separated, and that the government's taken. They're like
Well,
putting them to work.
the fact that the government is paying to release them to sponsors, paying for their, they're facilitating child trafficking.
But
Is
also,
basically what they're saying.
also those people are. I mean, it's a new form of slavery. I mean, if you have an undocumented worker that you can kind of threaten whatever you want, that's here at the behest of the current people in control, and you take them in, you know, you shine my shoes, you do this, you do that, you smack them around. Are you going to call the police? Because I'm going to tell them that you were trying to steal from me. It's literally been repeated through history. You take a marginalized person and put them in this situation, and they have no control or authority to stand on their own, and then you can do whatever you want to them. That's what everyone's always done, and that's what's happened to these people. And they're interviewing people. They're so high on their own shit and smelling their own farts. They're like, oh, she's just a member of the family, and she loves to cook for us and clean everything, and she watches the kids. And they're like, you have a free nanny.
Yeah.
And she lives on the couch. They're like, no.
We would never.
Yeah, we would never. We're helping her. She can almost read to the kids now in English. So we're doing everything here.
Speaking of which, this was very interesting. Archbishop, I can't even pronounce his name, warned about what would happen in France.
Ce sont vos filles, ce sont vos enfants.
Your wives, your children,
qui seront kidnappés, pris, mis dans des quartiers, dans les fameux quartiers réservés, comme il y en a à Casablanca, à Meknès et partout ailleurs. Et vous n'oserez plus aller les rechercher parce qu'ils auront fait des médinas et puis des mosquées telles que même les gendarmes n'oseront plus mettre les pieds là-dedans. Alors, qu'est-ce que ça va être la France à ce moment-là?
Yeah, I couldn't just read it. Sorry. So it says they won't set foot in there. What will France be at that time? It's already like this in some British towns. What we can do to stop it and ask the government is stop this Islam and do what we've always done. Two religions cannot coexist. It's impossible. They have to stay in their own country. If it's every year we have 500,000 arriving in France, you will see them, when a leader says kill the Christians, they will kill a Christian and save their soul. Save the soul of the one they have killed. Why would we deprive them of this?
We have to go back, and I've said this 100 times, 1,000 times. I said it to Johnny B, and he started to say like, "Oh, you think that the founding fathers were aliens?" I was like, "No, but they were smarter than anyone ever." Like, okay, so everyone thinks that America now. Also, I saw a study. Do you know who has the worst opinion of America?
I can't imagine. I mean, other than Joe Biden?
No, I mean, every country, all these countries that were.
Oh. What country has the worst one? I would think, I mean, they always say North Korea or or China, my God, for the killing treatment of the Uyghurs.
What country has the worst opinion of America?
Oh.
I think we're
France.
No, it's America. It's Americans. By like 200, 300%. It's Americans.
Well, they should get the hell out.
I think that's by design. But so okay, here's the thing, and I felt guilty about this all week, so I'd love to talk about it for a minute. When we started the country, we have to admit this, that it was a Christian country.
Mhm.
It is a Christian country with Christian rules and so on. But we literally started the tolerance thing. You can come here and worship any way you want, but here's our Constitution, here's our laws. You have to conform to these things, and you can do whatever you want in your own house. You can just do not infringe on the rights of any other people, and you can't hurt anyone else. That's it. It was a crazy thing. Every other country was like a state, like a small state, and they had an attitude. Hey, this is France or French. If you let people come in, they're going to change this. Won't be French anymore. If you come to Germany and you're not German, they're going to change everything. It won't be German anymore. And they're right. But the United States was so big, and the United States, the idea was so revolutionary, to make a pun, that you could come here and worship your crazy religion that you want to make up or whatever it is, but you had to obey by certain rules, certain laws. If you and your group tried to kill people for your religion, then you go to prison. It was, it's kind of a simple thing, but it had never been done before. And when I was a kid, this is one of the first times that I had the heebie-jeebies, and I had the hair stand up on the back of my neck, and I was like, this is wrong. And the United States is a melting pot, and I've talked to you about this. It's impossible to have cultural appropriation. The first time I heard the term, I was like, it doesn't make any sense. You can have it maybe in one of your countries, but not in America, because we were set up to be a melting pot. He's like, hey, you're downtrodden, you're whatever. You come here legally through our rules. You agree to our rules. You agree to become a citizen, and you agree to live your life as an American. And then you bring the best of your culture and add it to our melting pots.
Yeah, we talked about this before.
So, and then I remember my second grade teacher was technically kind of the most evil man I ever met. He was like, no, we call it a salad bowl now. Now it's a salad bowl because there's all these different cultures, and you come together like a salad. It's a bunch of stuff, but you see everything individual, nothing mixes. And I was like, that seems wrong, but he's my teacher. I'm 7. But the salad bowl idea was wrong for me. And it's true. Now, here's the selfish thing. In America, we're supposed to have this melting pot and everything. Like, we were finding our own culture. We didn't have a culture. We're brand spanking new. We had an idea. And in Munich, in Berlin, now there's more kebabs restaurants, worst houses. And I don't.
And in Ireland, the most frequent name is Mohammed.
Which, and this is you. You could push it and call it racist, but just as a tourist, I want to go to Germany and I want to see this slap dancing and beer halls and wursts and vests, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I want to go to visit Germany.
Yeah. And
that's selfish of me to say, because I come from a place where it's like, but it's like going to, I guess, New York, and it's like completely different. It's like when people complain that Austin's not weird enough anymore. It's like that's how it's supposed to be. When you go to France, you want it to be France. Paris, you want it to be romantic, and I never liked Paris as a kid, but
I've never been, but I've heard it's a dump now.
Yeah, I heard it was dumped in. It was like,
oh really?
Yeah, it would seem like old and dirty, and people were snotty, and they're like the tourist attractions were cool because they were, cool, but I like France, like other parts of France. Were very nice, very pretty, but Paris. Just I didn't ever really like it.
Just filthy. Well, we are right at 30 minutes, so let's jump over and to your channel and discuss a little bit more. Also want to mention that Bolsonaro was recently indicted for money laundering, criminal association connected with undeclared diamonds that some far-right leader gave him from Saudi Arabia, supposedly during his time in office. So they're now going after Le Pen, Bolsonaro, and Trump's supposed to go to jail soon too. So this all sure sounds really familiar.
See y'all. Come over to my channel.
All right. See you guys on Sean's channel. Right. And thank you for joining us in the chat. Love to you all. See you on Sean's channel. Bye.